The amber glow of the afternoon sun streamed through the classroom windows, casting long shadows on the wooden desks. 5 girls sat in a circle, their voices lowered, as though the very air around them demanded silence. What started as a typical literature club meeting had taken an unexpected turn. "What's something you've never told anyone?" one of them asked, her voice trembling. The room went still. After a moment, someone whispered, "I've always wanted to fall in love," and erupting into shrieks, "Oh my God!" and a muffled whisper. Her words hung in the air like a secret that was both heavy and freeing. It was the first spark that would ignite a journey into uncharted emotions, desires, and discoveries. Each girl carried a world of unspoken thoughts, hidden behind careful smiles and practiced indifference. There was the quiet one, always hesitant to speak her mind, and the confident one, whose boldness often masked her own uncertainties. Together, they shared one thing: an unfamiliar longing to understand love in its rawest form. As days turned into weeks, their club meetings transformed. The books they read seemed to mirror their lives, filled with tales of heartbreak, longing, and fleeting moments of happiness. Slowly, their walls began to crumble. One fateful afternoon, while tidying up the old bookshelves, one of the girls uncovered a worn-out notebook. Its faded cover gave no hint of the treasures inside. But as they flipped through its pages, they discovered it was filled with passionate words about love, heartbreak, and desire. "This feels intense," one of them said, blushing as she read aloud a passage. "Do you think anyone actually feels this way in real life?" another asked, her voice laced with curiosity. The notebook became a catalyst, pushing them to question what love meant, not in stories, but in their own lives. For one of the girls, the discovery awakened something she had never allowed herself to explore. She found herself drawn to someone she'd never noticed before. It wasn't immediate, but over time she began to pay attention to the small things: his quiet gestures, the way he smiled when he thought no one was watching. A number of times he asked her to let smoke, but doubt lingered. Was it love or just a fleeting infatuation? She kept her feelings to herself, afraid of what others might say. After all, isn't love supposed to be clear and undeniable? Meanwhile, another girl wrestled with a revelation that left her questioning everything. Her heart didn't flutter for the boys around her, but for someone much closer, someone she could never admit her feelings for out loud. The realization was both exhilarating and terrifying. She wondered if she would ever find the courage to share her truth. Would the world accept her feelings? Or would she be left standing alone in her vulnerability? Their conversations grew deeper, and with them, so did their understanding of love's complexities. It wasn't just about romantic moments or grand gestures. Love, they discovered, was messy and unpredictable. "Do you think love is worth all this confusion?" one of them asked during a late-night meeting. The question lingered, unanswered. Each girl wrestled with her own thoughts. Was it better to remain in the safety of the unknown, or to risk everything for a fleeting chance at something more? And for one of the girls, her budding feelings led her to take a risk. She wrote a letter, pouring her heart out to the boy she had admired from afar. But the response she received wasn't what she had hoped for. He was kind but distant, thanking her for her honesty while gently turning her down. It was a lesson learned quickly. Her tears fell freely that night, but her friends were there to pick up the pieces. They reminded her that love wasn't just about finding someone. It was also about the strength to keep going, even when the outcome wasn't what she'd dreamed. Signed, Paula. The girl who had been grappling with her unconventional feelings found herself at a crossroads. She decided to confide in one of her closest friends, knowing that this moment could change everything. "I don't know how to say this," she began, her voice shaking, "but I think I'm in love with someone I shouldn't be." Her friend paused, then smiled gently. "Love doesn't have rules. It doesn't care about what's expected. It just happens." In that moment, she felt a weight lift from her shoulders. For the first time, she allowed herself to believe that her feelings were valid. Through their shared experiences, the girls began to understand that love wasn't something they could predict or control. It wasn't always beautiful or perfect. Sometimes it hurt. Sometimes it felt impossible. But in every moment, good or bad, it taught them something about themselves. One of them reflected aloud, "Maybe love isn't about finding the perfect person. Maybe it's about being brave enough to open your heart." Her words resonated with the others, sparking a new determination to embrace the unknown. Their story didn't have a neat, happy ending. It was messy and incomplete, filled with unresolved questions and lingering doubts. But maybe that was the point. Life, like love, was unpredictable and full of surprises. As the girls sat together in their club room, laughter and conversation filling the air, they knew one thing for sure. Their journey was just beginning. And in that uncertainty, they found a strange and beautiful kind of peace.